Welcome back to Last Night in Basketball. I'm Jared Dubin, and this is Friday Film Findings. Today it's all about how the Phoenix Suns absolutely tore up the number 1 ranked Minnesota Timberwolves defense, 160 offensive rating through the first 3 quarters. And the first thing we got to focus on here is how everybody not named Devin Booker and Kevin Durant was absolutely on fire from 3. The guys that Shaq would call the others made 11 of 21 attempts from beyond the arc. We're going to touch plenty on Booker and KD, but this really can't happen if these guys don't get hot from 3. One of the things Booker talked about during his post-game interview was that the Suns really wanted to get out on the break and make sure they beat the big guys down the floor. They did a really good job of that, as you can see right here. Eric Gordon's at the basket. Rudy Gobert is at the free throw line at the time Gordon gets that fast break bucket early in the first quarter. Later in the first quarter, this time it's Grayson Allen. Again, he is at the rim. Naz Reid is not even at the free throw line to pick up that basket. And in the second half, there was a lot of this kind of stuff where the Wolves just did not match up with really good shooters in transition. Look how much space Eric Gordon has between himself and Anthony Edwards to get off this 3. And then you'll see this happened multiple times in the second half. It wasn't just Edwards. It wasn't just the big guys. It was everybody. Eric Gordon has all the time in the world. He can stand there and have a picnic before he gets this 3 off if he wants to. That's too easy for him. But the biggest damage came out of the pick and roll, and it started pretty much right away. The Suns get into this Spain or stack pick and roll or whatever you want to call it, and you can see Mike Conley jumps out at Devin Booker. That leaves Grayson Allen popping wide open to the wing to knock down a 3. And about a minute or so later, the Suns go right back to the exact same action. KD loops off, Nurkic sets the screen. Now look, Conley is pretty much attached to Grayson Allen, and that lets Booker walk into an open 3. They went back to the same action later on in the game, literally the exact same thing. KD looping off, Nurkic setting the screen, Grayson Allen setting the Spain or stack. Minnesota tries to cover all 3 of these options at once, but doesn't really work. One of the things about Minnesota is it's a Rudy Gobert-led defense, so they're going to play a lot of drop coverage. They really don't want you to enter the paint. You can see they had Booker corralled right here, but they throw him a lifeline. Booker spins around, gets a re-screen from Drew Eubanks, and is able to pull up from the elbow. The same thing happened a little bit earlier in the game, so this was a design thing. They were trying to toy with the coverage, not just something that they freelanced out of nowhere. With this one, it sort of kick-started a ball movement sequence, and then Booker came off another screen and just attacked Gobert downhill and got to the rim for a layup. And that was the thing, they really just were not afraid to attack Gobert downhill and try to finish over him at the rim, despite his being, Rudy Gobert. Booker especially was just willing to challenge him and try to finish over the top and be confident that he could do it. And when Gobert was out of the game, they were really trying to get downhill. They were just not afraid at all of the help from Karl Towns or Naz Reid or whoever was in there during the game. And yeah, you'll notice there's a lot of clips in here. That's because there are a whole lot to choose from. Phoenix scored or got fouled 33 times out of the pick and roll just in the first 3 quarters. They had the Wolves trying all sorts of stuff, junking their coverage. Look at this right here. Look how high Rudy Gobert is out. He's usually all the way back there in the paint. I mean, this is just unusual for him. So what do? Hit the short roll, swing, Eric Gordon wide open from 3. Same thing later on, Drew Eubanks setting the screen this time. I mean, look how far out Naz Reid is. Look how far away he is from the paint. That's not the usual kind of coverage that you see with this team. They want to be in the drop more often. They also just ran some creative stuff. Like, this is one of my favorite sets where KD is the screener and then he immediately comes off a flare screen to get open at the top of the key. If you recognize that, you should. I like to call it the Ray Allen play because the Miami Heat used to run this for Ray Allen during the LeBron and Wade era all the time. It was really successful.
Here's Allen, yes, and the foul as I say that, Stoudemire fouls.
Even when Minnesota shut down that flare screen option, the Suns could, just go right into a Booker pick and roll, and we already know how much success he had in that action throughout the game. And maybe we can call this one the Gray Allen play. The ball movement that Phoenix was getting out of some of this screening action, especially when they put 2 guys on the ball, was really good. Gordon, extra pass to Okogie for the open 3 in the corner. Later, they get into something that's, a little bit creative, where Nurkic is the screener and then goes right into screening for KD, who drives, dishes, kick again to Okogie, wide open corner 3. Again, these guys shot ridiculously from beyond the arc. And then Minnesota's help defense was not that good either, especially Karl Towns, who just got detonated on by Eubanks. You can watch this one again and again. I promise it's just as rude every single time you see it. And then finally, sometimes things are just unfair because these guys are too good. You can switch Naz Reid onto KD. You can train everybody's eyes against him. and he's just going to pull up in your eye because he's the Slim Reaper. It was just that kind of night for the Suns. They really had it going. Once again, this has been Last Night in Basketball. I'm Jared Dubin. Head on over to lastnightinbasketball.com and subscribe today.